Hello there. I just wanted to take you through a build for Veteran Maelstrom Arena. I've just completed the No Death Run, the Flawless Conqueror title achievement, and I've been experimenting for some time on a build that would help me get that. I'm a bit of a casual player, a bit crap really, and literally if I can do it, pretty much anyone can do it, I think. So my build is a Bobo build. I am running a stamina sorcerer. The race is a Redguard for the sustain. I'm running Twiceborn Star for the extra magicka and the extra health. I lose a little bit of damage with that because of the I don't get any 5-set bonus like I would with like Hunding's Rage or something, but I get a little bit back because I can use 2 Munda Stones. But the real reason I'm using Twiceborn Star is because I use quite a lot of magicka abilities, and it's good to have that extra magicka, and also I benefit from having the extra health. I'm running a 5-1-1 setup for extra resources, and my other sets are the Vicious Ophidian set, which you'll see in a second, and I'm running the Asylum's Perfect Bow and also the Maelstrom Perfected Bow. The reason I'm running a Bobo setup is because I find it gives me really, really good flexibility. It allows me to get good range. It allows me to stand pretty much where I want to. There are undoubtedly some parts, some rounds where it would benefit from having more of a melee setup, so maybe something like dual wield and bow. But the trouble is that I find that really difficult. So you either have to run dual wield bow throughout the whole thing or bow throughout the whole thing. What I can't deal with is swapping between the two because I just get confused. My muscle memory gets confused. I forget which bar I'm on, and I start to make really stupid mistakes. Anyway, here's my character. Celador Sorcerette is her name. She's a stamina sorcerer, a Redguard. I don't know what you think. I think she's quite pretty, really. What can I say? My hero. All I ever wanted in a woman. So I'm using 2 5-piece sets. One is Vicious Ophidian, which gives me really good sustain. It reduces my stamina cost by 8%. It also gives me stamina back whenever I kill an enemy. And I'm using Twiceborn Star for the extra health and the extra magicka, and also because it allows me to use 2 Mundus effects. I'm also using Maiming Poison, which reduces damage against me. It inflicts minor fracture on the target and also drains health. Here's my front bar bow, the Asylum Perfected Bow. And here's my back bar bow, the Maelstrom Perfected Bow. Now, like I said, this isn't a build which is in any way classic. I didn't look it up. I just kind of built it up as I went along myself. It was just what happened to work for me after loads and loads and loads of experimentation. Now, this was actually the first time that I had run the Flawless Conqueror and the Perfect Run achievement. So you'll see the achievement come at the end. As you can probably imagine, I've been running loads and loads and loads of times, recording each time over even weeks, and not getting it, and very, very frustrating. I just wanted to record the first time I got it, and so you'll see that here. The bit that was always getting me actually was the was the Argonian round, level 7, and you'll see probably when I'm going through that that my play is actually really nervous on that level, and the reason for that is simply because I had never got through that round before without dying. I got through every single other round without dying before, but just not that one. And you'll see some pretty silly mistakes and also some near misses. So let's get to it. Now with this next one, the next round is a really easy one, but the trouble I always used to have with it was really sustain. Now this was a perfect example of one where it would actually do a lot better with a bow dual wield setup, but because of the thing I mentioned earlier that I can't really be switching between two different configurations because I just get confused. My muscle just gets confused. So I do bow for it. But because of the sustain issues, I have the Dark Deal skill, on my front bar there. And actually, for all of these rounds, one of the issues that I have is with damage. This is not a particularly high damage setup at all, so I try to adjust for that by having as many Fighters Guild abilities on my front bar, just to increase the damage output. In position 1, I have that Fighters Guild skill, the silver bolt. I use that really as a spammable. It seems to do reasonable damage. Like I said, I've not known other people use it. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. As I say, I'm just a casual player. But it seems to work for me. It seems to work as a spammable. Really, because there's no real bow spammable. The closest is really the acid spray, but it's very expensive and it's not great as a spammable. So, which is why I use the combination of the Fighter's Guild skill, the silver bolt, and the acid spray front bar. And also, because I'm a Stam Sork, I don't really need a self-heal. Really, I think one of the most important abilities to this build is critical surge, crit surge, which is, for me, it's just an absolutely fantastic skill, because it heals you with all critical damage that you do. And it also gives you major brutality. So. That allows me to use different potions, so I don't need a potion to give me major brutality. I use a potion which gives me health back. So I use basically a potion as an emergency heal, and I use really crit surge as the heal over time thing. Now this is where I have real sustain issues, so I have to keep spamming dark heal ability. So just on the potions, I use Essence of Weapon Crit, which is, what is it? It's Water Hyacinth, Dragonthorn, and Mountain Flower. And yeah, that's Essence of Weapon Crit, which gives me health back. I use it as an emergency heal. I use it as a way of getting stamina back, and it also gives me major savagery. Most of the time I don't really need the major savagery because I get it with the Fighter's Guild ability on my front bar. As you can see, a lot of the time I'm just doing light attacks, because this is never a DPS race. It really doesn't matter how quickly you're damaging unless you're going for a fast time, which I'm not. But the light attacks are great because they don't use any resources. They build up your ultimate. They do quite a lot of damage.
And that's how it's done. Well played.
Now for this one, I used to have real trouble with this. You're probably laughing because I've never met anyone who had trouble with this level, except for me. So the thing that stopped me having trouble with this was really using shuffle, because the thing which caused me problems was the snare, where I would get hit by the poison and it would slow me down, and I'd be in trouble and I wouldn't be able to escape. So the shuffle ability removes snares, so and it reduces area of effect, damage on them. So it's a really good ability for this round. So consequently, while I always used to die in this round 2 or 3 times, now I pretty much never die. If I die in this round, it's because I screwed up. It's because I made some stupid mistake.
By the stairs of the Queen! So far, so good, but the worst is yet to come. That's one where it counts. You've done well, I think.
So the only difference in the skills I use for this round is I use Ballista instead of what is it? That sword ulti, the Atranash. And I use Ballista because it gives me a nice burst damage. Now it's the one coming up that really used to give me difficulty. This is the ice rink one. I'm happy to say that I've pretty much solved that. I can now pretty much get through this reliably without ever dying, and that's due to two things really. One is having a strategy for each round. So knowing where you're going to be at the start of each round. The ones that really used to give me the trouble were the ice atro guy and the giants. So basically the strategy for both of those is just to know where they're going to spawn and just burn them down. And if you do that, then not necessarily the second one that spawns, but if you do it with the first one that spawns, if you just burn it down, you can burn it down really, really quickly, and then it just doesn't cause you any difficulty at all. The other thing which used to give me real difficulty on this was well, that guy, the troll breaker. Now, as you see, he actually breaks that thing there. But the issue was that if he spawned in a really inconvenient place, then I would be in real trouble, because I would use light attacks, or I'd use venom, or poison injection, or acid spray to get him. But I just sometimes find it's quite difficult to get him from range. So I solved that by using a slightly weird ability for a Stamsorg, which is to use Bolt Escape. So it just allows me to, it stuns the enemies behind me, and also it just allows me to get to the ring that the troll guy is on really, really quickly. And the other thing I use is that Fighter's Guild ability. I can't remember what it's called. It's the one that gives an area. That ability there. It gives you an area of protection. It gives you stam regen. It also gives you health regen. It's a really good ability for reducing damage, and I just find it really, really handy on this round especially. Main disadvantage of using Bolt Escape, which is again the muscle memory. I use Bolt Escape in the same slot that I usually use the Trap Beast, the Fighter's Guild ability. Now, when my brain tells me I want to press Trap Beast, and I just, without thinking about it, I just instinctively press that button. It presses, it does Bolt Escape, which can be a bit of a pain, and you'll see, especially in the last round here, where I was in a bit of a tight spot, and I used Bolt Escape when I meant to use Trap Beast, and I got myself into even more of a tight spot. Yeah, now this is the one that used to cause me real difficulty, this Ice Atro dude. The strategy here is just to know where he's going to spawn, and then just burn him down. It actually becomes really easy. And you know where he's going to spawn, and you just burn him. No problem. And here the strategy is always to end up here on this plate, right where the giant spawns. Just burn them down, push them down, spam acid spray, just burn them down. And he just does not. I used to die to these guys, these giant guys, all the time, and now I just don't ever die to them. when it's just one guy, this ball guy, it's just easy. No trouble. I just don't know why I had so much difficulty for so long on this ice round. It's just all about the strategy. Now, on this round, you'll see one of the real disadvantages of being a stamp sword and using too many magicka abilities. Because for a stamp sword, crit surge, which is a magicka ability, is absolutely crucial. It's possibly one of the most important skills there is. And at one point, I'd been using magicka abilities, and I didn't have enough magicka left to recast crit surge, and I almost got myself into a difficult spot here. Now you'll see here the bit where my muscle memory told me I wanted to cast the trap beast skill, but instinct just took over, and instead I cast false escape, which got me into a slightly difficult situation. Now in general here, I think the real key point is that just take it slowly, really. There is absolutely nothing to be gained by burning the boss down. If you try to burn the boss down, you only cause a huge amount of difficulty for yourself, because you get overlapping mechanics, you get overlapping ads. Just slowly, steadily wins the race.
Challenger is triumphant.
Now I'll tell you a little story here. When I first ever did Maelstrom Arena, my main character is a tank, and I've always played as a tank. I made a tank long before I ever made a DD. I didn't even know about DDing. I was just tanking dungeons. I didn't even really know about DD and tanking skills and what you need to do to get more damage on your character. So I did normal Maelstrom Arena on my tank, and I was just literally tanking my way through round after round, and you can imagine it's pretty hilarious trying to even beat normal Maelstrom Arena with a tank. It took a long time. It kind of worked. I managed to get through the first 5 rounds, but I just could not complete this one. This round is impossible with a tank, because you get the snare mechanic. So you need to be constantly damaging the boss, or I'm talking about the last boss here, or you just get snared and you cannot finish it. So I completed normal Maelstrom Arena with my tank up until this round, which I couldn't do. And so the first time I ever tried to do veteran Maelstrom Arena, I was scared of this round. I thought, okay, well, if it's that hard, you know, remembering that it was my tank that was doing it rather than the DD, I was thinking, well, if it was that hard on normal, then how much harder is it going to be on vet? It's going to be practically impossible. But anyway, this round is, I now regard this as one of the most, probably the most fun round in the whole thing. It's just a joy. It's a real joy to play. You know, working out the strategies, working out the whole approach, working out the timings of of getting those obelisks down and so on. It's just great fun to play. And nowadays, I never die. I never die on this round unless I really screw up. Right, so you'll see here some of the strategy that I like to do. So I like to have it so that when I get to the final boss, I have one obelisk still needing to be freed. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my time over this guy here. What is it? A lurcher, whatever. I'm waiting until I've managed to free all but one of the obelisks, so that as soon as the final boss arrives, then I can just burn him down. And as you can see, I actually very nearly screwed it up, because there's that poison goop there, and it didn't. Yeah, there we go. just
I wager that will leave a mark. Challenger wins. That was one from the record books.
Watching you perform so...
Now here we go. This is the bit which I never managed to complete without dying until today. This is a horrible one. It's you know, there's just so much random stuff, so much RNG, and you know, you don't know where the mushrooms are going to spawn, and you don't get long to cleanse yourself of poison and so on. And you know, there really is, I think, a completely unmitigatable, if that's a word, RNG factor, which is when the boss does his roar, what happens if a mushroom spawns exactly where you're hiding? Then you're done for. So anyway, I was actually really nervous because I was thinking, okay, well this could be my this could be it. This could be my my no death completion, and just one small mistake here could just screw it up here, as it has done on so many previous occasions. Now, in terms of the strategy, what I try to do here is to try and make sure that I can always see the whole arena. So I'm standing kind of as much as I can at one of the ends, which has really two advantages. One is that I'm really near the cleansing pool, and the other advantage is that you can always see where the venom caller, so what's called the venom, yeah, that guy, you can always see where they spawn. And you need to be able to. So you need to make sure that your field of view, as much as you can, covers the whole arena. And here, when it gets to the mini boss fights, again, I just take it really slowly, because my main objective is to finish the round with as close as I can to full resources, because if I'm full resources, then that just makes the next round just so much easier.
Now it comes. I've been waiting for this. Feast on their hearts.
Now here, you'll see, yeah, I just got dinged by a mushroom. So, but fortunately, because I was just standing right by the cleansing pool, it wasn't a problem. Now here you see I am just taking this fight steadily, really steadily, just to make sure I don't make any mistakes. Try and build my resources up. These troll guys, they don't really create much danger as long as you're being sensible. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Same with this guy, really. Just take it really slowly, really mindfully. Just take all of the mechanics one by one. Don't rush anything. Just concentrate on not making a mistake. And this is just, you can really get panicked in this round, but there's no need. Just think before you do everything, and it's just absolutely fine. And of course hope that the random number generator is kind to you. Now look at my health. You can see I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding out. How many times has that happened to you? Where you've completed the round, and yet the bleed, you bleed to death right at the end. Yeah, you had to be careful of that.
Must say.
Yeah, in this one, again, I can sometimes have issues with resources, but you can solve them by just taking everything really, really slowly, doing lots of light attacks, doing fully charged heavy attacks, and so on. And you know, when you get the whatever they are, those obelisk things, instead of burning them down with dots and abilities and so on, you can just heavy attack them down there, or light attack them down. And again, just take this one really, really, really slowly. And again, for this round, I always use the ballista instead of the Atro ulti, mainly because of the nice burst damage it gives me, which is important for the final boss, because you need bursty damage for that. I think probably some people can burn them down in one go. I can't, not with this build. This is not a particularly high damage build, so I take 2 rounds to burn the final boss down. The one that really caused me difficulty, that used to cause me difficulty for this, was round 4, where you get all of those fire dudes just all suddenly descending on you all at once. It's a little bit like those archers in the Argonian round, where you can just get overwhelmed. And so that's the sort of thing where you can put together a little strategy. Having a good strategy helps. And what I found is that what works for me is you just get in amongst them and just burn them down. Yeah, here it is. So this is the bit where you just have to get... Well, I'm sure there are lots of different strategies, but the one that works for me is just get inside them and just burn them.
Soon you'll be soot and ash.
Yeah, so here what I do is I just do loads and loads of heavy attacks on those thingies, just to get some stamina back.
Never seen anything like this. What an exciting bout.
Now for this next round, I changed things a little bit. The issues that I have is I need burst damage. Need burst damage for the crystals in the last round of the next one, and so I use the ballista ulti again. And also I find that for the last boss, but also not just the last boss, but also for the Ash Titan, I just need to do as much burst damage as quickly as I possibly can. So again, the ballista is very useful for that. Other thing, I use shuffle for the crematorial guards, because it really reduces the damage I take from their fire breath. That used to really get me, the fire breath damage, just getting flame in my face. Wasn't very pleasant. I often used to die from that. But I find that if I proc shuffle just before that, then that gives me major evasion, which significantly, I think, about 15 or 25% reduces the AoE damage. So just proc shuffle just before it burns me. And the other thing is that, again, for the last boss, I can sometimes have sustain issues, and sometimes the dot you get when you're up on the platform for the last boss can be quite intense. So that's why I always have the Dark Deal skill. Right, now you'll see here that these walker dudes. Now, as you probably know, you have to burn them down as quickly as you possibly can, otherwise you get that bone colossus spawning. Now here, I actually fail. I don't. This is one area where I don't usually fail. I don't usually fail to burn them down, but here I did. The bone colossus spawns right at the end, and usually for me that's just it. That's just I don't recover from that. But I think the reason for that is mainly just panic. It's you know, damn it, I screwed up, and I'm kind of feeling a bit wretched about that. So I then mess up the fight with the bone colossus. But what was actually, I think, the one saving grace here was that the bone colossus spawned right after all of the other ads were dead, so I was able to just take him down at leisure. Right, now here it's the Ash Titan coming up, everyone's favourite mini-boss. Now what I find with this guy is that to not die while fighting him, I have to burn him down before he does his flame breath. It's his flame waves thing. And usually if I manage to burn him down before he does the flame waves, then I will survive, but usually if he does the flame waves, then I do not survive. Just simply not because of the flame waves themselves, but because of all of the ads. I just get overwhelmed. So here you'll see that I actually failed to do it, and I was thinking, oh dear, that's the end of my no death run, blah blah blah. But miraculously, I somehow survived. Quite how I survived that bit, I shall never know. Virtually every mistake that you can make in that bit, I made it. And yet somehow I'm still standing. So, yeah, I'm just, at this point, I'm just really, really nervous. My hands are shaking like crazy. Why is it that when you need your hands to be steady, the time when you need to be composed and in command of yourself, you actually end up being really, really, it's one of those odd things about human nature. It should not be, but it is. So yeah, just making mistake after mistake, but somehow still surviving. Maybe next time I try this, I won't be so nervous, and I'll actually start to do things a little bit more securely. So here, my main goal really is when I get up to the top, I want to have full resources at that point, which is why I use light attacks and so on this Clanfear guy, and why I use Duck Deal and so on. And here you'll see the signs of my nerves again. Look, I never get hit by that thing. That's a noob error. And yet I got hit by it, but somehow, again, I survived. Now I just love his voice here. Love his voice.
Time to end this.
Time to end this. Oh, that was close.
Killing blow.
Right, now I'm about to get the third golden ghost. Now the number of times I have screwed up here, where I've tried to burn the boss down, and yet I've not quite made it in time, and I've been done by the crematorial guard, but not this time. So here we are. Just waiting for the achievement. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we are. There it is. Yay! Seriously guys, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I got a nice little dagger. Precise. To go with the Nernhoned one that I already have. Not a bad little reward. There we go, there's the Nernhoned one. I just need to make that precise one golden. Then I have my dual wield set up. Yay! My hero. Got to take the title. Oh, you know, the number of times I've seen someone with that title and thought, wow, is that some kind of god? It's really not that hard. Anyway, if you got this far, thanks for watching, and as I say, if I can do it, literally anyone can. There, look at her in those rags. I really like those rags. They're servant robes. I think I got them from a quest somewhere, and I kept them because I thought they look somehow the juxtaposition
Now
between
it's time for my barons to return to me.
those servant
Stand
rags
back.
and
I haven't done this in
the
quite some
heroism
time. I'd hate to turn
of the
you
character
inside out.
somehow dressing in a
Baron
way
who
which
moves like a
shows
smoking plume, I
complete
summon
humility.
you. Return to me. Approach me, my baron. Let me get a good look at you. You look splendid, simply splendid.
It is good to be with you again, my prince.
And you. Your assistance has been most satisfactory. I won't forget it. Or anyway, my tutor won't forget it. That's a relief.